Finally, there are improvements to cover the human limitations of Jesus. For example, in Mark's Gospel, chapter 11, verses 12 to 14, Jesus approached a fig tree thinking that he would find fruit on it, but when he did not find any fruit on it, he cursed the fig tree. Why didn't he find any fruit on it? Mark is very clear, because it was not the season for figs. But then in Matthew's Gospel, chapter 21, verse 18, the situation is changed. Jesus is hungry. He sees the fig tree. He went to it. He found nothing to it but leaves. And he said to it, "May no fruit ever come from you again." The difference is that Matthew here has removed the mention that it was not the season for figs. This allows Christians to meditate on Matthew's statement and make that into a parable about good and bad and what happens to those who do not fulfill their functions. They get destroyed, just like this fig tree, because they do not do what they're supposed to do. But as Mark's Gospel makes it plain, the reason there were no figs is because it was not the season for figs, and therefore it appears that Jesus here has made a mistake, which is natural for human
Wow, that's an amazing analyzation of Mr. Shabir Ali, the one who ran away from debating me as the rest of them. Now, you see, today I'm going to be very fair, and I'm going to do play with the Muslims their game. Actually, I always do. So, according to Shabir Ali and his amazing understanding of our gospel, that Jesus here, he made a very clear human mistake. And I put between two brackets the word human, because this is the whole point. He's trying to prove to you that Jesus is just a human and he made a mistake. You know, when we debate Muslims, we debate based on what? We debate, like, I don't go and explain the Quran. If you go and read my books, you will not find just even one verse is mentioned in the Quran. I am the one is giving interpretation for it, but I always use Islamic interpretation. Not even once I did use my own interpretation. Muslims, because they are not honest, they do not use their own, let us say, if they have honesty, their own honesty, if they have any. Because in order to understand a belief or a religion, you have to go by what people believe, not what you think. However, I'm going to read the verses he mentioned for us, and we will see if Jesus really here, he made a human error, as this Abdul, he said. If you go and read, the story, you will see that Jesus, and the Bible is a book, is not just a one verse, right? And this is what the Muslims, they say to us: if you read the Quran, don't quote a verse without reading the whole thing. But the fact in Quran, there's many verses, like in the same chapter, verses have nothing to do with each other. There's no connection. The reason for that, according to Muslims themselves, they say the Quran was not given as a book, but was given like a drop of water, here, there, everywhere. It's like you're taking a shower, but the shower is not functioning always. So Muhammad, he have like 114 cup of water, and Allah, he drop a drop in every cup once a while. And after a certain time, Muhammad, he have full empty cups, because still they are empty. Like, they see the chapter of Al-Baqarah have 282, and then you find the verse have 3 verses, a chapter have 3 or 4 verses, which is very funny. Like, why Allah, he made a chapter have 282, and then chapter have only a few verses saying nothing. Anyway, so if you want to study any belief, you have to go and see what those people believe in, not what you think. If I want to study the Hindus, I don't go and explain the Hindus to the Hindus. The Hindus will explain to me what they believe, and I have to take what they say, unless they are lying. All right? But if this is what they are saying, it is what they believe, that means this is what they believe. It's not up to me to explain it to them. Now, if we go and see this this story in the front of us, you will see that in Luke chapter 13, we will see that this is coming as a parable to teach them something. And even actually the fig tree, always in the Bible, it present the sin of mankind. It's not like the same as in the Quran. As an example, in the Quran, Allah himself, he swear by the fig tree, which is very funny and very stupid. Because imagine God, God. We're talking about God, not a grocery store guy, not a guy who had a bunch of vegetables in the street. He want to sell them, and then he swear by the fig. So you will see the God of Islam, he swear by the fig. And I cannot find one reason for a God or someone he claimed to be God to swear by the fig. By the fig and the olive. By what? By the fig. Once I remember we had like we were going somewhere, and we were in school, and I had I was able to collect some figs because it was like a place in the mountain. There's trees, etc. So I collected some fig, and I bought one of the fig in the front of a Muslim in front of me. We were arguing about something. He said he did not take it. So I said to him, swear by the fig. He said, what? What do you mean swear by the fig? I said, swear by the fig. He said, I'm not going to swear by the fig. I will swear by Allah. I said, why you swear by Allah? If Allah himself swear by the fig. He said, where you got this from? I said, in the Quran. Allah himself, he swear by the fig. This is how stupid the book of the Quran. So the fig in the Bible always present sin. Present sinners. Not necessarily the fig, by the way. God is not against the fig itself, no. All right, God is bigger than this. But the fig present that a human being was enjoying the fig until enjoying the fruits, enjoying everything. Then he did not notice that he is naked until he commits sin, and then he covered himself with the fig tree leaves. All right. So the fig itself is not the bad one. The fig present the sin. Now, if we're going to read the verses in the gospel, we will see the story that Shabir Ali he is talking about. If you go in Matthew chapter 24, it says clearly that this is a parable. Learn the parable of the fig tree. So what is the parable of the fig tree? That any tree do not give fruits, the Lord will cut it off, throw it in the hellfire. Now, according to Shabir Ali, this is not accepted, and this cannot be true. All right. He says in Mark 11, the story here in front of us. All right. Saying that Jesus, he saw a fig tree and he came to it because he thought the tree have figs, but when he found that there's no trees there, he cursed the tree. So Jesus, obviously, he did not know that there's no fig, and Jesus, he made a human error, and therefore he cannot be God. Now listen to this. All those who are around Jesus, they know it is not, and he himself, Shabir Ali, he mentioned that. He mentioned that they know that that's not a season, and the tree even does not have leaves. So how Jesus made such a mistake? He will say to you, it's mentioned here that he was hungry. All right. This is the one is writing the gospel, is reporting to us, saying to us, Jesus was hungry. It's not Jesus saying, I am hungry, so let us go there. For him, he is seeing Jesus going there to eat figs. So he report to us what happened in an honest way. It is not Jesus says, I am hungry, let us go there to pick up some figs. Now the Muslim, they focus on this, that he found there is no figs. So how come he is God but you do not know? It doesn't make sense, right? If he is God, he should know that there is no figs. But you see, the Muslims here, they ignore that Jesus, he cursed the tree. All right. And he said that this tree will never give fruits ever, which means her life is cut off. They went to Jerusalem, and when they came back, they found that this tree is dried up from the roots. Dried up from the roots. All right, question. Jesus, with the human error, he can make a tree dry up from the roots. If Jesus is just a human, and Shabir Ali, he just proved that to us. How Jesus the human, he said to a tree, you die. And then the second day we come, we find the tree not only dead, but we find the tree it dried down to the roots. Because you know this is the hardest part by the way to kill a tree, because you can cut a tree, but doesn't mean it's dead. The branches will still come in. As long as the roots is alive, the tree is alive. Jesus said a word to a tree, and this is the hardest maybe creature to, or let us say a living thing to destroy, because it have roots going down in the ground. You have to take it off from the roots in order to kill a tree. You cut it, not enough, still is going to give branches. Wait a month or two and see, you will see the branches is coming, even if you cut most of it from the top of the ground. So how come Shabir Ali he ignore that Jesus, by saying a statement, he can kill a tree, but he focused only in what he called a human error? And why Jesus cursed the tree anyway? If the tree, the tree does not have it's not a season to give, so it's not logical for Jesus to do that. Which means, if Jesus doing that, it's meaning he is teaching us something. That I am Lord, and you don't give me an excuse of a season to give. There's no season of giving. When I ask for your figs, you give me your figs. You give me your fruits. Otherwise, the tree will not give a fruits, will cut off and thrown in the hellfire. This is why I say for those Christians who say that a Christian do not need to give good deeds, or good deeds will not save you. I say this is a kind of false fiction stories, because you see all over the gospel Jesus saying clearly, you have to give a fruits, you have to give a fruit. The tree do not give a fruits will be thrown in the hellfire. As simple as that. So those who teach you that we are just saved by the grace of Jesus, we do not need to do good things, those they are teaching you to be hypocrite, because you can be a person who have faith by name. Because if you are a truly believer in Jesus, you have to give a fruit. Otherwise, a tree who is a green and love Jesus but do not want to give a fruit, this is mean this tree is selfish, and selfish in Christ's word does not exist. He himself, he gave himself to save you, so how you can be selfish? So a tree will not give a fruit is the same as any human being. He will not give a fruit, he will be thrown in the hellfire. So this is obviously a clear proof of Jesus being God, not Jesus being a human with error. For Jesus, he was able to curse the tree and make the tree die. Imagine, okay, I say, I go to a tree, I find no fruit, I say to the tree, you know what, from now on you will never give a fruit. And then people, they will see the tree giving fruits, nothing happened. That will be a problem. But in less than 24 hours, they go and they come back and then they find the tree dead down to the roots. That is a miracle Shabir Ali will not mention. So here we need to ask ourselves if this miracle is based in the human power of Jesus or the God power of the divine Christ. Can Muhammad curse a tree and make it dead? Can Allah himself curse a tree and make it dead? So obviously this is a parable about the ones who don't give, they will be thrown out, and Jesus is teaching us something about it. And the one who is reporting that Jesus, he was hungry, he is reporting from his own side of the story, not Jesus saying, I am hungry, let us go and eat from the tree. However, even if Jesus said, I am hungry, let's go and eat from there, it is not what you think, it's about what he is saying. It's about what it's meant. Because Jesus, he went to the tree, he did not find a fig. Why you want to curse it? What the point? There's no point, unless you want to teach us something. That I am Lord, and the one who don't want to give me his fruits, I'm going to cut him off and throw him in the hellfire. Now we are going to move to something. I will go with the same rules of this Abdul Shabir Ali. All right, Shabir Ali is, as you see, super intelligent as all the Muslims. I never saw a Muslim, by the way, is not super intelligent. It's impossible. They are all super intelligent. They are super, like their prophet. So here I'm going to challenge Shabir Ali about the human error. How do you explain to me God error? If you say that Jesus, he made an error as you claim, how you explain to me that your God is making an error? What error I'm going to talking about? You know, there's tons of errors really, and I'm not sure really which one I should talk about. Which one? Which one? Yeah. What about this one? When your God Allah, he say, the sun will go down, sit down in a murky water. In what? In a murky water. حتى إذا بلغ مغرب الشمس وجدها تغرب في عين حامئة. Until he arrived, the sun set, he found it sitting in a murky water. Now notice here, the one is reporting is not the apostle of Allah. The one is reporting the story is Allah himself. So there's no way he thought, she thought, he think. It is not about he thought that it does go in a murky water. It doesn't say that. It says, and when he arrived, Allah is talking. The one is reporting the story is Allah. Take a picture. Okay? Allah is talking about the story, how he arrived to the location where the sun set. So there's two things here appear to us. There's a sun-setting place, and that is a location. You can go to any interpretation, by the way, or any translation. Anyway, all of them in English, they are false. Look at this. Until he reached the place. Wait, what? The place. Shabir Ali, do the sun have sitting place? Is that a human error or God error? Or the one who made the Quran is an idiot? He thinks that the sun have a sitting place. Where the sun set? In a sitting place. Okay, where is the sitting place? He found it sitting in a murky water. Look at the first translation here. It says it's going down in a black sea. What the black sea, you idiot? There's no sea and there's no black. What are you talking about? You see, that's why I say I don't respect Muslims. Seriously, I don't respect Muslims. I mean it very well, because a human being, he respect his book. If he respect his book for a second, he should not fabricate lies about his book. There's the word no sea is exist, and there's the word black is not exist. Let us change the translation or translator, sorry, and you will see how the word change. It's a miracle. In a second, things will change. Look, what? What happened to the sea? There is no sea, and there is no black. Yusuf Ali translation. When he reached the sitting of the sun, he found it set in a spring of murky water. This is correct, actually. It says Ainun. Ain means spring. Hamia. Actually, it is not really murky water. To be accurate, it is hot water. Hamia. Hot water. It's not really murky water. However, and that make more sense, right? Because the sun is hot, so the water it goes in, it's hot too. Very smart Allah. So Allah, he is reporting to us where Alexander the Great, he went. He went until he reached what? The sitting of the sun, which means the sitting place of the sun, as another translation was saying. And he found the sun sitting in a murky water or hot water, a spring of hot water. Now, You see, Muslims can give their own interpretation, I can give my own interpretation, but that will not be fair. We should go and see the interpretation of the one who made Islam. What the one who made Islam he said about this? You know, the one who when he used to receive revelation, it's come to him as a sound of a bell. If you remember, yeah, that's it. The revelation is coming. So the revelation guy, Muhammad, he is going to explain to us how this mysterious discovery happened. According to Muhammad, if we go to the hadith, actually, let me show you this one first about the verse. You see, this is not Shabir Ali thinking of the gospel, how it's, you know, he explained the way he want. We don't do that. We don't do that, Muslims. We show you what your prophet explained. If you can show me what Jesus said, explaining that, you be my guest. So I am showing you what your prophet saying about that verse which is said by Allah. So now we have two witnesses, Allah and his prophet. You cannot beat that. This is not Ibn Kathir, this is not At-Tabari, this is not you cannot say to me this is a scholar, he thinks this way. No, this is the prophet himself. I was sitting behind the limousine of Allah, which is a donkey, which he stole from the Jews, by the way. I'm not making fun of the donkey, but it's even his donkey is something he stole from the Jews. You remember the story of Ya'fur. This is Ya'fur. I was sitting behind the Messenger of Allah who was riding a donkey while the sun was sitting. So the sun was what? The sun was sitting. Muhammad, he said, man, look at the questions of the prophet. You know, the prophet is not an easy cookie. The prophet, he asks questions very embarrassing. Like if you are not a person of knowledge and science, it's hard to accompany this man. The prophet is asking, do you know where the sun goes? Do you know where this set, which means the sun? I replied, oh no, I do not know, man. You know, Allah and his messenger, they knew best. As usual, you have to say that, otherwise Muhammad will kill you. You have always to praise him and say you are the only one who knows. Otherwise, if you answer, he will chop your head. In the worst scenario, I mean the best scenario, he will push you out of the donkey and you will not have a ride to go with him. So, do you know where this is set? I replied, I don't know. Huh? Only Allah knows and you. He said, he Muhammad. It's set in a spring of a warm water. Do you see it? Do you see it? Is that a human error and God error in the same time? Because Allah said that, you see, this is why I said to you the translation in the Quran is very false, right? I said to you, it's not murky water, it is a hot water. The word hamia, it is not murky. Those are stupid ones, you know, a bunch of Pakistani boys trying to translate the Quran and they do not know even how to say two Arabic words together. And here we go, we got a stupid translation. So he said, it's set in a spring of warm water. Actually, it's not warm, it is hot. Hot, not warm. Question. Allah saying that and Muhammad confirming that this is where the sun set. Is that Allah error? Or this is a prophet error? If you say Allah error, well, obviously it's Allah error because Allah, he is the one saying in the Quran that this is where the water set, in a murky water. And the prophet of the Abdul himself, he come with the perfect interpretation and answer. It is sitting in a spring of a warm water. Hold on. Maybe Allah, he saw the sun sitting down, so he thought. You know, according to Shabir Ali, Jesus, he saw the fig tree, he thought Ah, he thought. Human error. Things happen. Now Allah he thought that the sun set in a murky water, and later we find that Muhammad is explaining the verse and say yes. Allah saying that the sun set in a in a hot water, not murky water, sorry. And look at the translation, by the way. Look how translation is funny by Muslims. Look how the translation changed. They add words. I don't know where they got this from. Until he found it sitting in a black, muddy, or hot water. Is it muddy or hot? Like, come on. Either you say muddy, black muddy, or you say hot water. It can't be both. It's just one word. It says hamia. Lord have mercy. And he found near it, near what? Near the murky water. Oh, sorry, the hot water. What he found next to it? People. So the sunset in a hot water is like a dish, and around it there is people in the beach. Seriously, this is like amazing, amazing, amazing. So you see how amazing the science of the prophet and his God. And you know, one day the prophet, he said to Abu Dharr, do you know where the sun goes? What? The scientist Muhammad, who worked for NASA, he's asking a poor Muslim guy, do you know where the sun goes? The guy, he took his gun and he hid behind a tree, maybe saying, no, prophet, I do not know, you tell us. The prophet said, all right, as usual, you people are ignorant. Let me tell you where the sun goes. Oh, Abu Dhar, do you know where this goes? I said, Allah and his messenger know better. He said, indeed, it goes and seek a permission to prostrate, so it's permitted, and it is as it has been said to it, raise. It is from its sitting place. So it's in the sitting place, which is a murky water. We show you what Muhammad explained and the Quran explained, and it is the sun who goes, not the earth going around itself. Do you know where the sun goes? Do you know? Oh, come on, do you know? Do you know? You don't know over there? Let me tell you where over there goes. Every day the sun goes from point A to point B. And by the way, you see those sahih. The hadith is sahih. Muslim, don't tell me it's weak, huh? Sahih. Yeah, sahih, very, very sahih. And the story actually, it's mentioned in many places. Like it's all over. There's tons of hadith about the same story, about the sun going, sitting in a hot water, the sun going from place to place, the sun goes and bow down under the throne of Allah, the sun goes from here to there, and like here, read with me. Read the science of the Prophet. Amazing science, amazing. By the way, وَمَا هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَى. The Quran says Muhammad, he's saying nothing from his own. Everything he say, even the hadith, who wahyun yuha. All right, yuha. Chapter 6, verse number 50. I say nothing. I don't tell you about the secrets of Allah or anything. Everything I say to you, it's from Allah. I know nothing of myself. I know nothing of what's hiding. Muhammad do not know where the sun set. Allah is telling him. Say, I tell you, who is saying, say Allah, saying, say, I tell you not that you with me, you are with me the treasure of Allah, nor I do know what's hiding, nor do I tell you I am an angel, but I follow what it was revealed to me. So Muhammad say only what is revealed from Allah to him. So when Muhammad, he say here, do you know where the sun goes? They replied, Allah and his apostle knows as best as always, knows best. He, the holy prophet, the man became holy now? Okay, no problem. He said, verily the sun glides till its reach, it is sitting, rest in a place under the throne. Is that a stupid error of Muhammad, or this is a stupid error of Allah? You see, if I want to show you errors about the Quran, I have a book actually. All of it, it's about the error of your God and the stupidity is preach and teach in the Quran. My book is called Quran and Science in Depth. If you want to laugh, if you want to enjoy really seeing tons and hundreds of reference about the stupid mistakes and errors in the Quran, which Muslims try to make it as it is miracles and science, read my book and laugh. And don't forget to post your review after you read it, please. Honest review. All right? And you will see how many tons of stupid things in the Quran, and the Muslims, they try to hide it. Like even in the Quran, as an example, I just mentioned, remember this. What is a thunder? What is a thunder? Anyone who those listening to us knows what a thunder is? Who knows? Before I say, let me look at the chat. Anyone knows what the thunder is in the Quran? Nobody knows? The thunder in the Quran is an angel. Yes, he is an angel. And this angel, he praised Allah when he screamed. Where is the audio for angel? I have an audio here for the angel thunder. MashaAllah. Wow. Perfect. In the right time. So the angel thunder, they asked the prophet, and what is the thunder? He said he is an angel who prays Allah. They said to him, what about the fire we see? He said, this is his fire belt. He beat the cloud with it. What? So the thunder praise Allah and the angels. Why he is saying the thunder and the angel? Because he is one of the angels. All right, this is chapter 13, verse number 13. We can go right now to the interpretation. You see, we don't do what the Muslims do. You see, the Muslim Abduls, they come with their own interpretation for anything they read for us from their own, their own stories. We don't do that. When we say something, Muslims, we show you your interpretation and your prophet words. So if we go to the tafsir here, and we see chapter 13, verse number 13. If it's not in English, I will show it to you in Arabic. No problem, we can translate using Google. All right, here we go. Read with me, please. The thunder, this is an angel who is in charge of the cloud, driving them. That's amazing. And that's very, actually, by the way, I love thunder and the rain. I love rain. But now I know why this thunder is powerful. He is an angel, and he drives the cloud. And Allah, he hit with it the one who he don't like, and this fire, he drive the cloud with it. You see it? He unleashed the thunderbolt. Actually, there's better interpretation for this. Let me see if I can find it. Like, you know, if I want to go, there's millions of stories, and the Muslims, they found that Jesus, according to them, he made a human error. He did not recognize if the tree have fig or not. For me, this is an amazing miracle. This is not an error. It's an error for a blind man like you. Yet they have a book which is full of cartoon stories, stupid stories, and still they say to us that this is the book of Allah. I don't know what to mention, what not to mention. There's tons of stories. All of them, they are stupid. The thunder, he prays by his command, and it is an angel. Hey thunder, how are you, angel thunder? And it's also said it's the voice of the sky. And so do the angels. Anyway, uh, my friends, Muslims are people who live in a tent, but who throw rocks at people who live in a castle. This is exactly the situation of the Abdul. They belong to the most naive, stupid teaching ever you can imagine. And yet, they want to throw rocks at Jesus. You cannot do that, Abdul. As you see, Jesus, he cursed the tree died right away. Seek your salvation before it's too late, Abdul. It is not Jesus, the one you want to play with. Trust me. You can do that with Allah. You can do that with anyone you want, for all our fake names. Your God Allah in the Quran, he promised the Muslims in chapter of Al-Anfal, verse number 65 and 66, that 100 of you can win against 1,000. The Muslim, they went and they lost. They lost. What happened? Allah, he have a human error. He made a promise that they will win. And when they win, I mean, when they went to the war, they found that the promise of Allah was fake and unreal, and it was a stupid promise. It was a human error. For Allah is not even God, for he is a human. All right? So Allah, he sent them to fight. They went to war. They came back from the war, and they've been kicked badly by the infidels. So Allah, he said to them just in the verse after, oh, you know what? I think I exaggerated the number. I don't think you can make it. So, you know what? 100 cannot fight, 1,000. No way. I think that was a stupid exaggeration of me. So, you know what? I'm going to enlighten your task. And he changed the number from 100 to fight 1,000 to 100 will fight 200. What is the margin error of this? Seriously, when somebody says to me 100 can win against 1,000, then he say, oh, you know what? No, you cannot make it. You lost. Okay. Okay. So now I will change the verse just right away. The verse after it. They went to war. They came back. Muhammad, before they arrived, he said, "Oh, sorry, guys. Allah, but just now, Allah. وَالْآنَ خَفَّفَ اللَّهُ عَنْكُمْ وَعَلِمَ أَنَّ فِيكُمْ مُضَاعَفًا." For now, just now, Allah, he learned that you have weakness, so he enlightened your task. So 100 of you can win against 200. Sorry, 100 of you can win against 200. From 100 win against 1,000 to 100 win against 200. What was the error? 99%? 9%. From 1 to 10, from 1 to 10 to 50 to 10. From 1 to 10 to 1 to 2. So the margin error of Allah was 9 of 10. 9 of 10, which means 90% error. How God can do that? Anyway, I think I made my point, and I hope you guys did learn something about this. Feel free to download my videos as you wish, and if you guys have a question for me, please feel free. You can send me your questions to this link as you see in the screen. And for those who they are making donation, please check your donation, because many of you, uh, for some reason, it declined. So I appreciate you all, but will not help if the if the payment is not going through. We appreciate you all anyway, and I hope more people will help us in our mission. We praise the Lord, and Allah cannot be God, and this is obvious. It doesn't matter how full you are. The one who can curse a tree and make a tree freeze and die to the roots, he must be the Almighty. The one who say things which is stupid, even fool people will not say. The sun set in a spring of hot water, and his prophet explained that to us to confirm the meaning of what he is saying. The one who says to us the sun goes from point A to point B, that cannot be a prophet of God, and his God cannot be God. For this is nothing but a scam, was made by the man for the man. With this, I say God bless and see you soon. And don't forget, feel free to download my videos. Bye-bye. By the way, we have another podcast later about the coming mayor of London. See ya.